I have made a terrible mistake by not talking about this more. Hey everyone, it's me, back at it again with more bullshit. So what have I done this time? Well, as you know, Green Sans, the character everyone likes for some reason, has been added to the hit Roblox game Undertale Last Corridor, and everybody is freaking out about it. I wonder why. So I figured I'd make a video talking about why this happened, how this happened, and some cool development insight with some fun facts spread in there. I don't really feel like explaining what every move does, so if you want a more detailed guide on how to play them, you can watch someone else's video or do the unthinkable and play the game yourself. Hey, real quick, I just want to give a thank you to Chris in all caps, Francis.gif, and Marshy Berry for doing pretty much almost all of the concept art shown in this video. Their work absolutely incredible, and Green Sans and ULC would probably not be anywhere as cool if it weren't for them. So thank you. All right, returning with the video now. Okay, so I'll probably start with the beginning about how this collab came to be in the first place. I was introduced to Undertale Last Corridor, which I will refer to as ULC, by some of my friends around the time the Empty Promises update came out. I can't remember if it was before or after, but I know it was sometime around then, because I remember wanting to collaborate with the project roughly around the time that it got a change in ownership with Joey as its new owner. This is actually one of the few collaborations I personally sought out to get, as most of Green Sans' collaborations in the past were approached not by me, so I'm very glad that this actually worked out. Anyways, I hit up Joey about October of 2023 and asked if he would be interested in adding Green Sans to the game, and it wasn't until shortly after that I was added into a Discord group chat with Joey, RXQ, the co-owner of ULC, Tempchip, and a few other devs, in which we would discuss how to properly reveal the collaboration to the public. The collaboration trailer was originally going to be a lot longer than it was, with the ULC staff initially including their own animated segments, similar to the Hyper Casino video and the Q&A video that they uploaded on their YouTube channel. It was going to feature Undertale Papyrus, another upcoming character, and was going to be a sort of fake out, where at first it was going to reveal him again by having him beat the shit out of some Ranakara players, before eventually revealing that Junior was playing as one of them, sort of like how you saw him fighting against hard mode Insanity in the actual video that came out. And, then it would, do that thing where Junior cries to Green and says, and he'd be like, shut up, we're gonna go kick some ass, and that happened. And then that would cut back to the Undertale Papyrus bit where he would get his shit rocked by Green Sans, and then it would do like the cool Smash Bros thing, like, boom, Green Sans in the game, wow, it's so cool. And that isn't to say that Green Sans is going to be made instead of Undertale Papyrus. I did mention this before in like the Discord and the ULC wiki, and some people took that as, oh, we're doing Undertale Papyrus, psych, here's Green Sans, fuck you. But no, it was just going to be a way to reveal Undertale Papyrus and then transition that into Green Sans. I don't know what the plan with Fel Papyrus is right now. That's not really my jurisdiction, so don't get mad at me. However, we didn't actually go through with this due to complications with Roblox Studio preventing us from ever getting work done. It kept crashing and wiping everything. So we were like, fuck it, let's just, do what we did instead. And then we did what we did instead. As for our animated segments in the collab video, it was animated by Blue, who is now known for his cool Underswap take on SoundCloud, so go check that out if you're interested. And there isn't really much to say about the development of our side of the reveal trailer. Junior went through like 3 different voice actors, so that's a cool little insight. There was also going to be a scrapped cameo featuring 2 other Sanses that unfortunately had to be removed because the creator of them turned out to be a bad person, but it is what it is. We are not going to get upset about that. And I should also probably mention that Mr. Fun was going to be included, because during the time this was being made, he was going to be a character in the Green Sans fan game, a side character to be exact, but Val, his creator, is now doing her own thing with him, which that's fine. So go check that out, and see whatever happens with him is just kind of not involved with us. So Mr. Fun, he's off, on his training arc, finding himself and like meditating like a monk on the top of the mountain. So bother him when he shows up. Since this collaboration was in the shadows for a while, there was a very short time where it was going to use the project's identity before the reboot. When the project sucked. There exists an outdated moveset document, and I don't want to get into it because it's really bad. The moves were very disjointed and didn't really have any synergy between them, and it was very clearly just a bunch of ideas thrown together without much thought. Some notable attacks were a party popper that acted as a, get off me knockback move with minimal damage that you could then upgrade into a high damage move with minimal knockback. So the exact opposite of what the move was intended to be. I don't know how that's an upgrade. I don't know what I was thinking. There was going to be a healing item similar to how Pacifist Sans' ketchup works. Sure. There was going to be a rock, paper, scissors quick time. I don't even know how that would have actually worked out in game. That does, like, thinking about it now, that doesn't even sound good. And there was going to be just a bone throw and blaster combo. I'm very thankful that we never actually went ahead with this, and there are more moves that were cut, but they didn't really seem notable, so I don't feel the need to mention them, so I just won't. Also, Bubbles, that guy, he made that one song that you couldn't escape for a while. He was originally going to do voice acting for Green Sans, but that was pretty cut early on, so sorry, Bubbles. We'll get him next time. And now I guess I should talk about that unique unlock requirement that didn't happen. So if you played Green Sans already, you'll know that you can make the bees pop out of their hive by shooting it. This was actually going to be a much bigger deal than it turned out to be, with multiple moves having different actions depending on if you shot them or not. And this was what the risk-reward gameplay was meant to be, using your finite resources to either gun down your opponents or try to set something up with your attacks to deal more damage at the cost of using up some of your ammo. Obviously, this isn't actually what happened, and I don't really view Green Sans as a risk-reward character anymore. I don't really want to put a label of what type of character he is now, so you can just determine that for yourself. But the unlock requirement was going to be a single-player boss fight against Green Sans Jr., who would be your tutorial on how to use the gun to interact with your attacks. But as I mentioned before, it just didn't become as prominent as it was meant to be, so the whole thing was just unnecessary, and it would have meant that the update would have taken longer, so you're welcome. He was also going to give you tasks that force you to play as other characters before you were even able to fight him. I looked through the document and there doesn't seem to be a reason for this other than padding out the unlock process, but you would have meant to meet certain requirements with Fresh Sans, Little Sans, Hardtail, and Fellswap Emerald, who you can't even play as anymore. This never got past the planning stages, so there's not a whole lot to really say about this, so we are now moving on to scrapped attacks. Again, Green Sans' current state also had a few scrapped attacks, which I will talk about now. There was going to be a move where he pulled out a car and would run people over at high speeds, but this was cut mainly due to his map already being relatively small and him already having a pretty good mobility move in the form of his moneybags attack. He was also going to have a falling piano attack, in which he would line up a piano being held up by a drone and shoot it to make the piano fall. This would also work on the hive mine attack, where if you landed the piano on the beehive, it would send the Green Sans bees scattering everywhere. You also would have been able to force your enemy inside the piano after it fell by knocking them into it with either the parry or the moneybags attack, in which it would slowly damage them and force them to mash out of it. I honestly don't remember why this was scrapped. I think it was just too much for a single move, and it eventually got repurposed into the giant statue attack, in which he just slams a statue on you from above and you're squished for a bit. The only other attack I could find is what would have been the worst attack in the entire game. there was, for a very short time, an attack called Green Fire, which Green Sans would send out a lantern with a green flame inside of it, and it would leave a lingering fire for a whopping 1 second, and it would do like 6 damage. The only outlier to this move is that Green Sans could combo his Moneybags attack into it, lighting them on fire and dealing more damage because of that, which he can still do by being burned by any attack that inflicts burn damage, but this attack, seriously, did not last more than a single day in test plays, and I only have one screenshot of this move's mere existence. And I don't know where else to put this, but there was a Kara team weapon planned as well, but we just never got around to doing it because we already had a lot on our plate as it is. It was either going to be the big red jewel the protagonist in Green Sans uses, or a skin for the empty gun that changed it to Green Sans' pistol. Maybe someday that could be a reality, but as of now, it's unlikely. This next section is about how I personally feel the character turned out and how it reflects the character and the project it originated from. I think we handled Green Sans' characterization here very well, which was something I definitely wanted to prioritize since, unfortunately, there isn't a lot of content released right now to go off of. Yes, I know the game is taking forever and we barely have shown off anything, but I promise we're making good progress behind the scenes and hopefully we'll show more stuff throughout 2026. But I was really gunning for this being a good example for you to see who Green Sans really is through how he attacks, and I think we did that pretty well. I mean, he doesn't use a single bone or Gastro Blaster in his entire moveset, and I think that's pretty telling. And of course, I know I didn't really get into Phase 2 or Green Sans Jr., and maybe when those things come out, we can do a follow-up video explaining how they happened. But for now, I'm very proud of how this turned out, and I'm thankful that ULC was willing to collaborate with us in the first place. I love ULC. I think it's my favorite Undertale Roblox game, and I know that there are other games like it, or were other games like it, but ULC was always my favorite simply because I loved seeing it grow and evolve. Sure, the old lobby and old models and their attacks sucked, but I've grown an appreciation for the old ULC models because, I mean, come on, they look funny! And I think it was really cool to see the game grow and evolve past these models. It's why I like how they didn't just remove the older characters while they were waiting to be reworked. Having there be that inconsistency makes it all the more satisfying when they do get reworked, and I love seeing what they come up with. So yeah, I just think ULC is a very good game, and I think that's where I'm going to leave it off for now. Sure, there's going to be more Green Sans stuff added in the future, like his second phase, Junior, and some skins. And we can talk about those when they get added, but for now, just go enjoy the update and go enjoy the funny Green Man. And also, I really hope they rework Geno soon. I fucking hate that character!